think I fancy a really nice cup of tea. What's the theme for the show today? The theme for the show today is tea. Cup of tea? No, a letter T. Hello once again. Well, today's theme tries to talk totally about the letter T. I think I'm going to have to put my teeth back in after saying all that. Well, Charlie is holding up a letter T, so you know what a letter T looks like. Actually, I wonder if you can think of any things that start with the letter T. How about having a go at foods? Try food. Treacle, ooh, one of my favourite. What about some more? Think hard. Toffee, ooh, that's a really nice one. What about clothes now? Trousers, and go on, I'm sure you can think of some more. Think. Tights, good one. Now, what about sports? I wonder if you can think of any sports. Tennis, yes. Any more? No? No more? How about taekwondo? Never heard of that. Why don't we have a look and see what taekwondo is? I hear congratulations are due to you because all your students have just passed their taekwondo exam. What exactly is taekwondo?
Taekwondo is a kind of sport that has been created by the Korean ancestors 2,000 years ago. In Hong Kong, we call it self-defense.
So self-defense, is it a good idea for children to learn self-defense?
It is quite good for children to learn self-defense. It's not really that dangerous as you call it self-defense. You know, they might be attacked by someone. It's not really that serious.
Now, I noticed the children wear different coloured belts. They have green belts, yellow belts, white belts. What is the reason for wearing all the different coloured belts?
White belts are the beginners, and black belts, that's the seniors, that's finished for the young children. We call them poons. Now, yellow belts are normally, they just finished their first test, the first grading.
I see. So, and also when you're doing the commands, when you're teaching the children, you have a command that you shout really loudly, us!
Right.
And what's that for?
Us, that means for the children to cry out, shout out. That means they're not scared. Or maybe when they attack. Us, they shout out, that means they're going to attack someone. They're not scared of their partners or whatever. So if I shout back, us, that means they're not scared. I'm going to attack you. You know, they won't be scared in their heart. They just cry out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
that looked fun. It looked such hard work, didn't it? Great fun. Well, now it's time to tell today's tale, which is all about some funny objects called things. Once in a country called Nowhere, I heard a strange sort of call. I looked and I looked for something. There was nothing at all. But then things started to happen. I could hardly believe my eyes. There were things jumping all over Nowhere. Things of all colours and size. There were round things and square things, triangular too, and some things that I think should have been in a zoo. First things first, cried one thing. Driving in, he knocked me flat. Sorry, but I'm just one of those things, he laughed and raised his hat. The bigger the better, a huge thing he said, with an enormous shout. The little thing looked up at him, and the little thing knocked him out. We're the little things in life that count, the little things cheered. And then, while the big thing couldn't believe it, they counted up to 10. It was just one thing after another, and things all over the place. Have you ever seen anything like it? A thing with a grin on his face. Oh, let's get things in perspective, said a voice. Oh yes, I said, yes please. Well, well, he said, now there's a thing. The moon is made of cheese. I'm something in the city, said one thing, and quite set in my routine. I work each day from 9 to 5, if I catch the 8:15. Then something else again appeared, with a cry of, have a nice day. How's everything with you? He said. I'm from the USA. A bright young thing danced up to me. She seized me by the hand. Come and waltz with me, she said. And then I heard the band. Things were different in my day, an old thing grumbled to me. Nothing's the same anymore, said he. Things aren't what they used to be. Well, you're right, I said. I do agree. Things are much, much worse. What nonsense, said another thing. I think she was a nurse. Put out your tongue, she told me. When I did, she shook her head. I think you've caught something, she said, and the place for you is bed. So I went to bed to forget them, but try to sleep as I might, they kept me awake until morning. You know, those things that go bump in the night. Well, in the morning, I looked through the window. Oh, it really was quite absurd. Things are going from bad to worse, I cried. But nobody heard. I made myself some breakfast, but 2 greedy things ate it up. One even ate the plate as well, and the other one swallowed a cup. But then a funny thing happened. Hello, he laughed, it's me. I know a thing or two, he said. In fact, a thing or 3. Oh, things are getting me down, I groaned. Don't worry, he replied with a grin. Things are on the up and up. Don't worry about a thing. Just take things easy, one thing said, and that way you will keep everything in order. And then he went to sleep. Right, let's get things moving, came a shout. All right, you think, fall in. Left, right, left, right, left, right, quick march. Come along, you lazy thing. Now things have taken off at last. Things are flying high. Come fly with us, they shouted out. But I can't fly, said I. Everything in the garden is lovely, and things I might suggest, much to my astonishment, have turned out for the best. Then all of a sudden, in Nowhere, as if they'd never been, I couldn't see a thing at all. There was nothing to be seen. I must have been seeing things, I thought. I must have dreamt it all. But then one last thing I saw. He was very, very small. Goodbye, old thing, I said to him. Goodbye, he said to me. But one last thing, he said to me. I'm not a he, I'm a she. Weren't they a wonderful bunch of things? They were great, weren't they? Well, Charlie and I have actually had an enormous bunch of things arrive in our mailbox this week. I wonder if you can guess what they were. Charlie and I know, don't we? Yes. They were, in fact, all your pictures for the gallery. So why don't we have a look at some of your pictures in today's gallery? And the first picture picture in today's gallery is of a magic world with a witch standing in the front of a blue house by Nepalina Chetri, who's aged 8, and some lovely bright hills in the background. And the second picture is of a clown called Charlie with a lovely big beaming smile on his face, and that's from Ashika Manion, who's aged 6. You can see the clown has got all different types of clothes on. And 2 little girls picking apples, one of them with bright ginger hair. What lovely hair, pretty hairstyle as well, from Shalini Srinivasan, who's aged 8 3/4. I think somebody else is trying to get up the ladder there as well. And here we have Pluto and Mickey Mouse fighting over dinner. I think Pluto is trying to pinch Mickey Mouse's dinner there, by Arvin Robles, who's aged 9. I don't think Mickey Mouse somehow is going to let Pluto have the dinner. And here we have a teddy bear climbing a tree with some lovely flowers at the bottom of the picture. And that's from Dina Darba, who's aged 5. And Dina on the side has written, "I love you" on her picture. Thank you, Dina, that's lovely. And here we have a Royal Viking sea vessel with 2 men and one saying, "Captain, shall I give you a hand?" And that's by Shiv Varma, who's aged 8. A nice sunny day there and lots of action going on in that picture. Smashing. Well, thank you once again for all your pictures in the gallery. They really were smashing. And I'm sure a lot of you, during the holidays when you have nothing to do, will do things like drawing or painting or playing different games. Well, I've got another game that you can play which is all about letters of a sentence. Now, I'll explain to you what it is we do. You choose a letter. Let's say, for example, the letter T, because that's what we're using today. So we'll take the letter T and we try and make a sentence which is as long as possible. Now, we try and make it so that it makes sense, but if it's a little bit silly, then it really doesn't matter. I've got one I'll give you as an example. I'm going to have to read it because I can't remember it all. Let's have a look. Tom tiptoed to the telephone to try and trace the tricky trouble. Did you get that? Did you get that? No, I didn't think you did. But if I read it a little bit slower and you see if you can count how many words there are. Tom tiptoed to the telephone to try to trace the tricky trouble. There, how many were there in the end? 12, that's right. I wonder if any of you will be able to beat 12. Well, if you do, why don't you write to me at the studio and I'll read some of your sentences out. Well, there's another game that you can play which is called tongue twisters. And with tongue twisters, you try and say things as quickly as possible. Say, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. I wonder if you'll be able to say that. No, I don't think Charlie's going to be able to manage that one at all. Well, think up some more tongue twisters and try and say them as quickly as possible. Well, in part 2, I'm going to be showing you a tongue twisting magic trick. So I'll see you then. Don't go away, as we'll be back for more fun and games in part 2 with a guest to help me. We're back and we're ready to go. Come and join us for some tongue twisting tricks and Danger Mouse in custard. Well, would you believe it? This week I'm going to be doing the paper clip and strip trick. Well, to help me with my paper clip and strip trick is my friend Lakshmi, who's come especially to the studio to help me. Hello Lakshmi, welcome to the studio. You managed to get here in the end, didn't you? Nearly got lost. You didn't get lost, you were just a little bit late. Yeah. Well, before we go on to Would You Believe It, I'm going to show you the results of last week, or the answers to last week's Would You Believe It. If you remember, we had some children in our studio who did some miming. I wonder if you're going to be able to guess any of those mimes, will you? All right, let's have a go then. The first one was... Telephone. Telephone, good girl. Now the second one was...
Hungry.
Hungry, I'm hungry. And the very last one, what was the last? The last one was...
Happy.
Happy, happy smiling face. Well, if you can think of any more to do at home, then I think it's good fun communicating with your friends using different sign languages without talking. Well, I think now we ought to go on to our magic trick. Are you going to be able to say the magic words? Paper clip and strip trick.
Paper clip and strip.
Trip. I even said it wrong. Paper clip and strip trick. Good. Right, let's have a go and see if we can do it. Now, the idea of the paper clip and strip trick is to clip 2 clips together like this without me touching them with my hands. Right, let's see if we can have a go. Why don't you choose 2 clips for me? Those 2. All right. A green one and a blue one, chosen there by Lakshmi. Right, I take a piece of paper and I put it round like that to 1/3 and then clip it with one of the clips. And then I fold it the other way and clip it onto that piece with the green clip. There we are. Now, are you watching carefully? Are you ready to say the magic words? Clip and strip trick. Yes! See, it works. It didn't fall on the floor this time. When we practiced it last time, it flew and it fell on the floor. But this is fixed on Poppy now, hasn't it? And I didn't use my fingers, did I, to touch it? Nope, didn't use my fingers at all. I just pulled the paper. She'll vouch for me. Well, I'll let you know next week the answer to how you're supposed to do this. But why don't you have a practice at home with a piece of paper and some clips? And in the meantime, let's have a look at a different game beginning with T, and that's spinning tops. The Maori people live in New Zealand. Children like to play with spinning tops. They whirl them round and round with a thread, and then they let go. The children used to play with spinning with long and thin, and others are short and shaped like a pear. Some were made of wood and some of clay, and players used a whip or a strip of leather to make them spin. Some tops could be spun by simply twirling a handle on the top. Well, one top was made which was very big. It stood on a metal leg which was set off with a piece of string, and it spun as it made, and as it spun it made a noise. This was the very first humming top. Well, all sorts of games can be played with tops, and in one game you have to land your top on another one to knock it down. Here I have a real spinning top. Let's see if it is spinning. There we go. Tiny, isn't it? Is it tiny? Can you think of any animals that are really tiny?
A mouse.
A mouse. Can you think of a tiny little mouse who sometimes comes into our studio?
Yes.
Danger Mouse. Here's Danger Mouse in custard. Ugh. Well, aren't Danger Mouse and Penfold absolutely wonderful? And don't forget to tune in next week for a whole new episode of Danger Mouse. Well, coming up next is You Can Make It, and I'm going to be showing you how you can make something. Probably you know the game already, but you can make it in a slightly different way. But before we make something together, I'm going to read you a poem, which is a warning of what not to do with your games. Games are never so much fun once you've lost the bits, so tidy carefully away your jigsaws and your kits. Dominoes and games like that which need to be divided, with too few pieces never let a winner be decided. Snakes and ladders with no dice, happy families missing mothers, clutter up your shelves and are useless to pass on to others. Once again, or You Can Make It, Lakshmi is going to help me with this game. So let's put this out of the way and I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to make a game called Tic-Tac-Toe. Lots of T's again. And to start it off, you've got to make yourself a grid. Now it's very much like noughts and crosses, except you can play it on a bigger scale. It is noughts and crosses, yes, apart from the fact you can change it very slightly towards the end when we play Tic-Tac-Trouble, if you remember. Well, Tic-Tac-Toe, one of us needs to be the noughts and one the crosses. Which set of cups would you like?
I'll have the blue.
You'll have the blue ones. All right. There's the blue ones, and I've got the orange ones. Right, now the way you play it is like noughts and crosses. You've got to try and get a run, either across or down or diagonally, and you've got to try and stop your partner from getting runs. All right, would you like to have the first go then? Put your cup in one place. Put it there. Oh, that's a good place. That's one of the best places to start. I'll put mine there. Your go. Where are you going to put it? There. I think there's something going on here. I think I'm going to have to stop you going by putting it there. Are you going to be clever enough to spot what I'm doing? Yes? Where are you going to put yours? There! Now, I think I can win this game if I go like that. That means that I've got to run. Yes? Woo! beat you that time. Well, what can often happen in this game is that you can get stuck, especially if something like this happens where nobody can go anymore and you've all run out. Well, what's the point of playing a game if you get stuck? So, there's a development on this game. If you play tic-tac-trouble, it means you can carry on playing until somebody wins, rather than just finishing once all your places are in. So, let's go back. It's your go now. Why don't you just move one of those anywhere? One of your blues. Move into a place where it's going to help you to win. Can you think of a way that might help you win? Where? Where are you going to put it? Quickly, which one are you going to choose? You're going to put that... Can't put it on top of mine. While she's thinking about it, I'll give you the address to write to me at Swizzle Street. And if you can write to me, Tracy King, at Swizzle Street, ATV, room 430, 81 Broadcast Drive,
Okay.
Kowloon.
This one's okay, but only this one.
Oh, right, there you are. She's a winner. She's had a good think about that while I was giving the address, and you won it by getting 3 the same. Well, I think we're going to play another game, are we? Let's see if I can beat you again this time. Yes? So while we're playing the game, why don't we say goodbye to everybody? And then we'll see them next week. Okay? Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.